Hi, welcome again. In the previous lesson, we have seen how to push our local repository to our remote repository and also how to change the user credentials and make a new commit with the different credentials. Now let us see how to make a commit from the GitHub repository. Before that, let us check the status of our local repository using the git status command and also the number of commits at this point of timeline using git log -- one line. Here we can see total 4 commits with the last commit made from the new author. Now let us make some change to our file example2 in the GitHub website, and here in the GitHub website, in order to edit the file in GitHub, open the file example2 and then click on the edit button or edit icon. Once we click on the edit icon, we can able to edit our file in the remote repository. Now let us make a change. Here I am going to enter a simple print statement just for the illustration purpose. That is, print added this line from the GitHub website for the first time. Now enter the commit message. Here I would like to enter updated example2 with the print statement for the first time. So Git is giving a warning that great commit summarize contain fewer than 50 characters. Please place extra information in the extended description. Okay, so let us copy this commit message and paste it in the description and put here some extra bug for first time from GitHub website. So anyone can see this commit message and the description and can identify that we have made a change to our Git repository for the first time from the GitHub website. So below that we can see that either we can commit directly to the main branch or we can create a new branch for this commit. So now I would like to leave the first option and click on the commit changes. The changes have been saved successfully in the GitHub account, and here we can also see the commit message. If we click on the 3-dot symbol, we can also see the additional description we have entered while making a commit. So click on the code to go back to the repository directory. Now we can see the total commits in the Git repository. So now it is our time to pull this repository to our local repository. Means we have made changes to our remote repository but not to our local repository. So changes made to the remote repository won't get reflected in the local repository unless we pull the changes of the project from the remote repository to our local repository. Suppose if we check, the git log is commit history using the git log dash dash one line. Here we can see total we have 4 commits. The changes made to the remote repository has not been reflected here. So to pull the remote repository means the changes made to the remote repository to our local repository, we need to use the command git pull origin main, because we have already connected our local repository to the remote repository, so no need to connect once again. So just use the command git pull origin main. Here we can see the changes made to our remote repository has been reflected in our local repository, and the file name for which we have made a change. So we have made a change for the example2 Python file, and the same can be seen here. Now if we check the commit log history using the command gitlab dash dash one line, so we can see the 5 commits with the recent commit updated the file example2 with the print statement what we have made in the remote repository. So whenever we make changes to our project or development from the different authors to the project, the changes won't be applied to the local repository unless we pull the remote repository to our local repository. So I think now it is clear that push is used to push the local changes to the remote repository, and pull is used to pull the remote changes to the local repository respectively. In order to avoid mentioning the names of the branch with the origin main every time, we need to set the main branch as the default branch in GitHub, and in the local repository we need to use the command git branch dash dash set dash upstream dash 2 is equal to origin slash main space main. Now let us make some changes to our remote repository and pull without using the origin main. To illustrate this, I would like to create a new file, say for example example8 in the GitHub. In order to create a new file inside the folder in GitHub, we need to click on add file. Here we can see we can create a new file, or we can upload a file from our desktop. So let us create a new file. First I will create a folder with the name demo folder, and in front of, if we use a forward slash, then it will be treated as the directory or folder, and then the file name function underscore example 8.5. Let us use the commit message as added a new file example 8 from GitHub. And then make a commit. Here in the GitHub account, we can see a new folder, demo folder, and inside it a new file with the name function underscore example 8. Now let us use the command git pull in our local Git terminal without the origin name. We have successfully pulled the remote repository to our local repository without using the command origin name in the git pull command. So let us check the log history using the command git log -- one line. We can see the newly created file along with the commit message. And if we refresh our Visual Studio code editor, we can see the newly created folder, demo folder, and inside it a new file, function underscore example8. So this is all about how to pull the remote repository from GitHub to our local repository using the Git terminal. So we have just learned how to make a commit in GitHub account and also how to pull the changes made in the remote repository to our local repository. Next, we will see how to work with the branches in both Git and GitHub. So see you in the next lesson.